Hey everybody, my name is Paul Esden Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25, and we have another juicy Aaron Rodgers update for you guys this morning. As always, in the YouTube description down below is the article that you can follow along with our talking, and it'll help you keep track of all the juicy deets, and this is very interesting. And apparently, if you guys remember way back when, because this offseason has felt like the longest offseason in history, way earlier this offseason, the Jets were granted permission to go visit Aaron Rodgers and hang out with him out in Malibu, California. Now, typically, quick timeout on that story. Normally, when teams are allowed to do that, where they're allowed to go meet and talk with somebody else, that's because the two teams involved have already agreed to some level of trade compensation. So the two teams are like, hey, this is about what it's going to be. Cool. All right. We just want to talk to Rodgers to make sure it's cool. He wants to come here. Everything's all copacetic. Okay. So keep the story playing. They meet with him. Everything goes great. We thought that meant that a trade was going to happen. And obviously, fast forward all the way to now, and it hasn't. But we found out, thanks to Charles Robinson, he joined a ESPN radio show and gave a bunch of juicy deets. Apparently, this was the original trade offer that was this close to being accepted. Like this trade was going to happen. The Jets offered a 2023 third rounder, which at the time was number 74 overall. That has since been traded as part of the Elijah Moore trade. But stay with me here. It would have been a 2023 third rounder, 74 overall, and a guaranteed, no doubt about it, straight up first round pick in 2024 for Aaron Rodgers. They had the parameters of a deal locked in, according to Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports. And again, he joined the ESPN radio show. Again, if you lose track of everything, all the details are down below in the article. So that was the trade as it was going to happen. And Robinson gave the kicker as to why the Jets were willing to do that is they were under the belief that Aaron Rodgers was playing 2 years. They're trading for him for 2023 and 2024, this 2-year championship window. However, Pat McAfee show happens, all of a sudden the trade price changes. So Aaron Rodgers joined the Pat McAfee show on March 15th, which, by the way, it's crazy to think that is a month ago. That will be a month ago in 2 days. So from Aaron Rodgers saying, I intend to play for the Jets, that was almost a month ago. That's kind of crazy. Anywho, but that's not the comment that got, kind of got Woody Johnson's juices flowing. This is the Rodgers direct quote. At this point, I got to admit, I went into the darkness, 90% retiring, 10% playing. That is where my mind was. I'm tired of this, and I haven't gotten back into my workouts yet, and I thought that was what was best for me. Aaron Rodgers, Pat McAfee show on March 15th. When the Jets hear that, they go, zoinks? What? 90% retired. Oh, hell no. We're changing. Timeout TO, baby. Whoa. That third and a first next year, that offer's off the table. We were going to do that with the belief, the full understanding that Aaron Rodgers is playing 2 years here. Well, if he's only going to maybe play 1 year here, we need to renegotiate this package. All of a sudden, the Packers are like, what are you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? We want this deal. So all of a sudden, things start getting a little funky from that perspective, from the New York Jets and the Aaron Rodgers. Again, the trade was originally going to be a third rounder in 2023, a first rounder straight up in 2024 for Aaron Rodgers. But again, the Jets were willing to do that under the belief, of course, that that was going to be a trade with 2 years in. Apparently, according to Charles Robinson, the retirement comment scared Woody Johnson. It spooked him. And this is his quote from Charles Robinson. Suddenly, Woody was like, hey, if it's just going to be a 1-year window, then we're not giving up a 1. I'm paraphrasing here. We aren't giving up a 1 and another asset on top of that for what might be a 1-year window, whether that's a 3, 2, or whatever. I think there were pretty extensive talks with Charles Robinson that kind of whittled it down to that zone right there around the time of the visit. It wasn't like the two parties were going into it blind. They felt pretty close, and then things changed, like we just said, with the Aaron Rodgers comment. So here's what the Green Bay Packers want, according to Charles Robinson, right now, as the negotiations currently stand. The Packers want a 2023 second, so either 42 or 43, and a guaranteed first rounder, no conditions. Here's Robinson, quote, the Packers are absolutely stuck on, we got to get that first straight up next year. Nothing put on it. We want that first. Robinson says, it ain't happening. The Jets are not going to give up a straight up first round pick. However, as Robinson noted in this interview, the Jets are willing to give up a first in 2024. If, of course, it's conditional based around whether Aaron Rodgers, whether he, they do well. Let me put it that way. So if he only plays 1 year and they are awesome, right? They go to the Super Bowl, go to the AFC Championship game. None of these conditions are locked in yet. These are what is being discussed. Like, okay, if you guarantee or we're going to have a really good season, okay, we'll give you a first then. But where the Jets, and this is interesting, I hadn't really thought about this until he said it, but what Woody Johnson apparently was spooked by with this Rodgers comment and kind of like taking a step back is the Russell Wilson trade. Of course, that was an epic disaster. Right now, the Seattle Seahawks have the number 5 overall pick in the 2023 draft. They only have that because the Broncos trade imploded. Number 2, the Matthew Stafford trade. Now, it worked out for the Rams because they got a Super Bowl, but because of the length of the deal and how it went, the Lions have the 6th overall pick in this draft. That is because of the Rams. That's because the Rams imploded after winning the Super Bowl. So Woody Johnson looks at those two deals, and more the Russell Wilson one than the Stafford one, but you still get the point that if it flops in 1 year, all of a sudden the Jets are going to have no level of protection. If Aaron Rodgers plays 1 year and goes, I'm good, and they suck, right? They blow up, he gets injured, the offensive line can't protect him, whatever the hell goes wrong, right? And then Aaron Rodgers leaves after 1 year, and the Jets gave up, in theory, that unconditional, hey, they get a straight-up first-round pick, then the Jets are only going to have Zach Wilson, and that's it. Tim Boyle will be a free agent. Chris Strebler will be a free agent. The only quarterback the Jets right now are currently scheduled to have on the roster in 2024 is Zach Wilson. So the Jets would only have Zach Wilson and no first-round pick to potentially, or first-round pick / plan to get a brand new quarterback. So the Jets would be caught up the, Schitt's Creek here if they were in that position to not have the quarterback. So Woody Johnson's like, oh, hell no. We want to make sure that we have protection in that case, because if the Jets are terrible in 2023, at the very least, they could chase one of these guys. And Charles Robinson name dropped the 2 highly touted quarterbacks, of course, Caleb Williams of USC, and Drake May as well there in ACC play. Those are the 2 quarterbacks that are getting all this hype. And if things go wrong, at the very least, well, if you're the Jets, you're like, well, that sucked, but now we can go get one of the top quarterbacks in the class. If you don't have that pick, that isn't possible. So we'll see where this goes. Obviously, we're talking about the Pat McAfee show thing on March 15th, which was last month, and now we're still at this stalemate. So now they're staring at each other, and we will see. This is going to be a true test. Who has conviction in their stance? The Packers are like, we ain't doing a deal unless we get a straight up first. The Jets are like, all right, well, we ain't doing that. So we'll see who wins the staring contest. Of course, the Jets want Aaron Rodgers. The Packers want as much as they could get for Aaron Rodgers, but we all know they're turning the keys to the franchise to Jordan Love. Again, this staring contest is fine right now on April 13th. Okay, keep looking at each other. No one's got to blink, but somebody's going to blink when we get to the NFL draft. That starts on Thursday, April 27th. And truly, in terms of our draft picks that we discussed, Friday, April 28th is really where the rubber meets the road. Although if we go through the first round and this deal still isn't done, things start to pick up in intensity, because that means the clock is ticking towards the second round. If the Jets make those picks, it's not going to be NBA style. The Jets aren't making picks for the Packers to trade them. That ain't happening. That's very rare. We saw that Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, that draft and that sort of thing happening with trading draft rights, but that is a very rare circumstance. If this deal doesn't happen by then, things are going to get spicy. So it's crazy. A trade coulda, shoulda, woulda happened if Aaron Rodgers didn't make those comments. But I'll even tell you, looking around, Aaron Rodgers did the Jets a solid by making those comments. Super great leverage play. Why? Because whether he's going to play 1 year or 2 years, by even saying that, he's making the Jets pay less. It's absolutely genius. Thank you, Aaron Rodgers. It's fantastic. We talked about the video yesterday where Aaron Rodgers sent a message to the Jets. Don't rush. Don't come rush and get me. Pay basically the lowest possible price you can. And then we have this leverage play. He's playing chess. We're all playing checkers. Aaron Rodgers makes that comment, spooks Woody Johnson, whether legitimately or just negotiation-wise. Now they may not even have to give up a straight-up first-round pick for Aaron Rodgers, a future Pro Football Hall of Famer, 4-time NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champ. Unbelievable. Top 5 in every major passing gosh darn category. And now all of a sudden, because of that comment on Pat McAfee, Woody Johnson might get to pay less because he said that. Absolutely freaking genius. So keep holding on strong, New York Jets. Unbelievable. This is spectacular. And another Aaron Rodgers update for you guys this morning. Full column down below. Guys, The free way you can contribute to the show is, of course, reading that article. That helps as well. But also liking the video and hitting subscribe down below for more fantastic New York Jets content. We'll be on a little bit later today with one of our live shows with Randy Mueller. Big announcement coming up on that. But guys, always appreciate you supporting the channel. Again, like the video, hit subscribe, and we'll be back on soon again. Thanks, everybody.